We're going to look at LinkedIn profiles now, and then how you can use LinkedIn to reach out to find job opportunities that you may not be able to find elsewhere, and to build up your network. But it all starts with a high quality LinkedIn profile, because as soon as you start reaching out to people, they might come and have a look at your profile, of course. And if it's not good, they're going to very, very quickly lose interest in pursuing that relationship with you. I want to quickly talk through the main elements of a successful LinkedIn profile. You can create what's called a vanity URL, which means you can go in and customize your URL. I'm not going to show you how to do that now, it takes too long, but make sure you have a look at that. So if you haven't done that already, definitely make sure you get a vanity URL. Your profile picture is really important. And what we see a lot of with international students in particular is someone who thinks they have to look very serious and professional. And they come across as someone who's very gloomy and moody and probably not a lot of fun to work with. And it's not the sort of person who you feel like phoning up to say, hey, are you interested in this job? So we recommend having a close headshot so they can actually see your face quite clearly, not in a distance. And it's a friendly, open expression, perhaps with a smile. So you look like someone who's going to be easy to get on with, who they might like to have as part of their team. So stay away from moody, serious-looking, over stern expressions. You know that you can also add in the looking for opportunities thing. Hopefully, most of you've got that, so that there's a little logo on your image. So any recruiter going through and looking can see straight away that you are open for a job. The headline statement is a really, really important part of it. That's because if you put the right keywords in there with your skills, it increases your chances of recruiters finding you. They're going to do a search. Maybe they need someone with particular skills in titration, maybe in spectral analysis or quantitative analysis. So what they're going to be doing is typing in their technical terms that they need for their client. And your profile has a better chance of appearing if you've used those keywords in your headline statement. So we're going to have a look at those in a moment. Your about section is one of the worst, most underused parts of most people's LinkedIn profiles. They might often have 2 or 3 sentences in there, maybe one small paragraph. This is your chance to really show off a lot of your skills. And we're suggesting you use a lot of your cover letter or profile statement from your resume there to really give a good description of what your key skills are, with some evidence statements about the projects you've done, for example. Skills and endorsements, another important part. You have to build those up slowly and make connections with people to get the endorsements, but it's definitely worth it. We'll have a look at what people have in their employment sections, but you definitely want to include the list of key responsibilities and key achievements that you've got from your resume. Okay, this is Jez Binders. We can see he can do better with a customized URL, but otherwise, initial impression is really great because he's customized his background image as well for cybersecurity. Got a nice image of the locks there. It's a nice close face with a smiling expression, well done, well lit. Looks like a good professional photograph with a plain background. So that would all create a great first impression for the recruiter. This is the headline here, this little bit that writes on right beneath the name. Just while I'm talking about a photograph, haven't got the open for opportunities in there. That's something that can be added to get the attention of recruiters. So this is the headline statement. There's not a lot in here, and you've just said you're a student. So remember, this is where you want them to find you via a search that they've conducted for someone. They're not going to be typing in cybersecurity student, right? They're going to be typing in particular software, maybe systems that you have built, knowledge about different aspects of cybersecurity, and they're the keywords you need in here. You can actually now have something like 240 characters in there, which is actually a lot of words, probably too many actually if you use all of them. But this is definitely, Jasbinder, we want to see more in there so that recruiters can find you more easily. Let's have a look at your about. So there we go. It's just a bare 2 very small paragraphs. And this is all fairly meaningless, Jasbinder. passionate and highly motivated and career driven, right? What a recruiter or hiring manager is looking for are your skills. There's very little in here we can do. So we've got, okay, pen testing, forensics, cryptology, right? They are the total keywords you've got that relate to your industry, and the rest doesn't, right? So you've actually got to get rid of most of that and focus on getting much more detail around the keywords which relate to what the types of jobs you'll be applying for, and providing evidence for those. It's great you've got some documents in there. If we come down to your experience, it's great that you've got key responsibilities in here under your, so a lot of people actually leave this blank. So great that you've got that. You've got them listed. You've got some nice little stars to make them stand out and leap and jump out at the eye, which is great. If you've got any sort of key achievements in there, would definitely want to add those, right? If you go back to the resume that we talked about, we suggest putting those in the ING form, so it would match up with your resume, but otherwise pretty good. I'm going to take the next one. So Tanvir, great. We've got the open to work here. You can make it more attractive by customizing your background. That's something to do with software development, whether it's some code or something like that, or a shot of a computer screen. That would help make it pop out a little bit more. But great photograph. Love the photo. Very open and lovely, friendly face. You can customize your URL there, as we talked about. Now, junior software developer, that just says the bare minimum and is not doing nearly enough work for you, Tanvir. That we want to get in a whole lot of different, what programming languages have you got? Have you done web development? Have you done testing? Was it manual testing, automated testing? I'm looking for more information about what we could put in there. There's not a lot of information in here, right? Let's have a look in your about section. So not nearly enough in here. What software programs, what tools are you, what part of software development? Are you a Java specialist, right? There's a whole lot of stuff which we just don't know. You haven't told us about it. It's not enough to say you're a software developer, because a company that's looking for a software developer will be looking for a software developer with particular skills, with particular tool set, with particular software, right? Or for a particular stage of the development process, right? So that's the information you need to include in there. The about is the same problem. There's not enough in there, and there's almost nothing in here about your technical skills, except maybe you've done some stuff on websites, landing pages and templates. You've done a bit of coding, but you haven't told us what programs you use, etc., right? Or what you've built in your code. What have you built? What did you build it with? Who was it for? What did it include? They're all the details which are going to get a recruiter or hiring manager interested in talking with you, because they'll say, oh, okay, yeah, I can see he's really done some great stuff and he's got the programs that we're looking for. Experience, this is what we see a lot of. There's just not even, there's nothing here about key responsibilities. I know they're not roles in your industry, but I would still have something in there, particularly if it's somehow way you can relate it to maybe something that's relevant for the job, like customer service or some sort of administration or documentation. They're sort of fairly generic skills that you can emphasize in that sort of casual job.
Nathan, can I just jump in there? If you go back up to Tanvir's employment, what you guys can do is this. Obviously, concierge has nothing to do with being a software developer. So Tanvir and anyone listening, you guys should put in your experience, create a consulting job or something, and put, software developer contractor. Because the way the LinkedIn search algorithm works is when a recruiter is looking for candidates, you're going to come up higher on the candidate ranking system if your job title matches the search term of what the recruiter is looking for. So if the recruiter is looking for a graduate software developer in Melbourne, they're going to use the recruiter LinkedIn recruiter tool. And if you've got software developer everywhere in your headline, your about, and in that job title, you're going to come up top, Tanvir. So these are things you guys should do. Add projects in as well. All your software development projects, have you got a GitHub? Okay. So, if you want to catch the attention of recruiters, this LinkedIn profile needs a lot more work. But that's why you're here this evening, to learn more about how you do this.
All right, so this is one of my career coaching clients. You can see he's got a customized background. You can see he's filled up his headline profile, headline statement with lots of key technical terms, software he's used, skills he's got in robotics and automation. So anyone, a recruiter who's looking for some of these things, he's going to come up higher in the list because he's customized that for his skills and for the technical terms. Let's have a look at the difference in how much is in his about section. So you can see here, he's got short little paragraphs. Make sure they're not big chunky paragraphs. No one likes to read those, but short little paragraphs summarizing his experience, his different roles he's done and what he did in them. And then he's got the key skills list. And you probably, that looks familiar to you, I hope. It should anyway, because that's been taken out of his resume, right? So he's got the key skills here, and then he's got his evidence statement about how and where he did it. So that's how you can really build up your about section to give the recruiter or hiring manager a lot more information about what you can do. When he come down to his experience, he has included from his resume key responsibilities and key highlights. He sneakily got a bit of bold highlighting in there with Unicode to make it stand out. But essentially, he's got a lot of information here to really engage the reader. So because there's a lot for them to read and look at, the more time they spend on looking at his profile statement, the more likely they are to hit the button and contact him.